What is up, guys? It's Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News, the only live call-in show somewhere. We're going to be right back with all of today's news, and it is crazy. So stick around. We'll be right back. All right. What is up, guys? My name is Adam. If you've never been here before, this is a live show. In fact, it's a live call-in, and the number is 224-400-MARF. We're going to be going over all of today's news, including a lot of crazy stuff that is going on just in the last 24 hours. And then we are going to give you the chance to call in and give your opinion, or even give us some of your own pictures, videos, some information that everybody doesn't know. Again, that number is 224-400-MARF, which you can call in on. Make sure to press option 4 when you do that. Now, if you've never been here before, again, all of the things we say here have a root in a article. If they don't, then we specify that. If you go to marfooglenews.com, which is newly updated, again, you will see that it is actually organized by thumbnails. And when you go and you see this thumbnail, you will actually find that you have all of the articles down below. So now that we go back here, you can actually click on Irreversible, Is This the Future? And then, of course, down here, you will not only see the articles, but you will see all of the tweets, all the videos, and all of the not safe for YT, of course, right here. So this is a lot of the stuff that is going on. We have now, I believe, 70,000 people going to our website a day to follow all of the coronavirus stuff and everything that we're really putting together here. So make sure to check it out. It's, again, marfooglenews.com. It's very easy to find. Again, throughout the show, we'll give you that address again. Now, before we get started, we, of course, have a co-host and my producer who helps me, Dex. Let's do a sound check real quick.
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam.
So Dex actually has a screen to my left. He has access to the callers, and then, of course, he's going to be screening them, putting their information. If they have pictures, they can actually give him all of their stuff, and then I can end up showing it to you. He is in Marfoogle Studios East. If you want to check out his channel, of course, that is Dex J. Okay, and then Dex, obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. What would you say about the last 24 hours?
Well, there's some things happening right now around space, and there's definitely a lot of things happening. Everybody wants to talk about China, and we definitely should. And like you said, on our website, we've got so much information about what's going on in China and how that's going to affect us personally. But there are a lot of other things happening around the world, a lot of things in the space race, a lot of things even militarily that are going on, and we're going to try and cover a lot of it tonight.
Now, before we get started, I just want to get one more thing out of the way. Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone who helps the show, including our wonderful mods. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. So, yeah, obviously what Dex is saying is completely true. I mean, literally, there are a ton of things going on right now, and it is absolutely nuts. A lot of the Foogle fam is getting together. A lot of people have met through our channels and our groups. We have state groups in every state. They meet in person and actually talk prep, talk disasters, talk, theories, anything. Really, it's the whole fact of, when you go to work or when you go to school or wherever you're heading to, a lot of people are going to think you're crazy because of what you think. We are trying to be as accepting as possible, and we understand that right now in our current climate, you are not allowed to ask questions. And if you literally follow me or any of my peers, you would know that a lot of things are actually being taken out of the public eye, or if they're not being taken out, they are being shoved to the bottom of the list. Now, again, it's not openly acceptable in the mainstream to actually question the authority of others. So we try to go over some stuff. We don't disinform here. We try to inform you and actually give you access to all of this. So again, you can read any of these articles in full. If we just hit the headline or something like that, you can go to marfooglenews.com and you'll see the entire articles are there, including after we get our calls, it will be updated live, and then the callers' info, the callers' channels, if they have any, will be on there as well. Now, this says, Flare-ageddon, how satellite mega constellations could create a new natural disaster. Now, I've never heard of this, Dex, but it says, over the next few years, the night sky and the volume of space that surrounds the Earth are both poised to become very different than they've been for all of human history. As of 2019, humanity had launched an estimated total of between 8,000 and 9,000 satellites, with approximately 2,000 of them still active. As SpaceX, Starlink, OneWeb, Amazon Project Kuiper, Telesat, and other companies prepare to provide worldwide 5G coverage from space, more than 300 new satellites have gone up for these purposes in just the last 9 months. It says humanity is beginning to enter the era of satellite mega constellations. So I've covered before stories like if you are actually going out and taking star photos or star videos, you will actually see these lines, and they say the more constellations of these satellites, the harder it's going to get to actually see past them. When you are doing a long exposure and you're tracking something and then all these satellites fly by, it shows up as a solid white line. So there's tons of pictures out now of what it looks like because there's so many. Now, if you look up in the sky, you might think it's a UFO, but it's most likely it is a satellite, and they are flying all the time. I mean, I could sit there for 5 minutes and probably spot 20. I'm sure you guys can do the same if you have the ability to even see the stars anymore. It says, well, media coverage has largely mentioned only one detrimental effect so far, the damage that these satellites are already causing to astronomy. There's a second consequence to that could be even more disastrous. Kessler syndrome. With tens or even hundreds of thousands of satellites in orbit, a single collision could trigger a chain reaction with the realities of solar flares and the technological needs of mega constellations. This new type of natural disaster may be unavoidable. It says the idea of Kessler syndrome is a simple one. If there are too many satellites around Earth, an unfortunate collision between them becomes inevitable. Now, we've talked about how Russia's satellites and our satellites our Russian spacecraft, one of their mystery craft, came very close to one of ours, and it was quite dangerous, or at least that's what they said. But again, now it's getting to the point where there's going to be, tens and tens of thousands of these things. It says, although there is not widespread agreement on that point which will be reached, it says it's widely recognized that greater numbers of larger satellites greatly increases the risk, with Starlink alone proposing a total of 42,000 satellites in 3 different orbital shells, and many other companies sure to soon follow suit. The danger of Kessler syndrome is poised to increase by orders of magnitude over the 2020s. So, it's weird to say the 2020s, by the way. So, think about that. There's not even 8,000, 9,000 satellites now, and they're talking about 42,000. Well, yeah, and think about just one collision. Like we got a lot of cars on the road, and we don't go a day without having a car crash, right? And we don't have a lot of planes up, but we do, and even those have malfunctions. So there's going to be malfunctions in space, and if it just takes one of these or two of these to collide and then create a ton of debris, because you can't control that, right? You're in an area where debris kind of goes in all different directions. And it's all based on the direction it was heading and how it breaks apart. It's totally different than what happens down here on Earth in car crashes. It's all sort of confined in one space. But if you have these large satellites and they crash into one another, it's going to make a huge mess, and the ramifications of what that mess is to all the other satellites creates the chain reaction. So, as far as this too, they talk about the accelerations and the decelerations they have to take to avoid these kind of crashes. The same kind of science that is actually taken with asteroid avoidance with Earth. They have talked about if we see far enough out a huge asteroid that's going to hit us, how we would slow it down or speed it up. That's the only two things you can do, because if it lines up, it's like a street. It's basically like a crossroads, and you need to slow one of the cars down or speed one of the cars up so it doesn't hit. Now, I know that there is a group in our group, and you guys are totally accepted as far as folks that don't believe in space at all. And, that might actually sound crazy to some, but again, there's all types of people here. And again, what do you guys think about this? I love to hear all opinions on these things, and I would love to hear, what are they actually doing with satellites in your opinion? If these are, just kind of floating up in the sky. Anyways, so that's pretty crazy. 42,000, that would be quintupling the amount of satellites in our sky. We will basically see them every second. You will see them in the sky. It will be like little stars moving around at all times. Now, this is actually a tweet that goes to something I'm going to show you here. It says, crazy video emerges of American and Russian armored vehicle road rage incident in Syria. It says, although altercations involving U.S. and Russian forces have seen a spike in recent weeks, duking it out on a highway is something new. Now, here's the actual Twitter video that went with this. Check this out. So let's see. See if we can get the volume on this. Maybe there isn't sound on this one. Oh, I know why. I'm about to blast your guys' ears. Did he really just cut off a... Wow, these guys are being, excuse my French, but kind of dicky. Wow. Come on, grow up. What's crazy is this is like a line of, this is tanks and stuff involved here. Again, you see they're skipping around. Guess there's no lines at all. So no double yellow law. They're in a hurry for. Look at that! Did you see that? They almost hit somebody. I didn't see that the first time around. Look at this right here. Wow. See, what it doesn't show, though, is what ends up happening afterwards. And why were there people just, like, chilling? Either way, it says details about the incident are still limited, but a video has emerged online showing a U.S. military MATV, mine-resistant vehicle, running a Russian Tiger armored utility vehicle off of the road somewhere in northeastern Syria. It says the incident reportedly occurred relatively close to American troops found themselves in a standoff of a mob of civilians and militiamen aligned with Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad a week ago. Russian forces were also present during the altercation, which ultimately left at least one dead. So, obviously things are, there's tension at all times there, so That doesn't seem too strange from that. Again, that camera was inside what appears to be a civilian vehicle. So that was a normal guy that was skipping through all of the military vehicles, apparently, along the same stretch of road captured the incident. And if you guys have not gotten into our Discord yet, make sure to do so. They actually have a creators corner. We are doing, you have to have at least 100 followers or subs and at least 20 vids under your belt. Again, that we are getting a whole big group of people together. We want to try to get something going like a 24-hour kind of network. So if you want to get in on that, please join there. I know that a lot of people are having issues. We might even do a stream on how to start the social media things that we want to do. So don't worry, we're going to help people like Gloria and things like that. I do hear you and I do see you. And then we have an exclusive military channel, which is vetted by other military members. And that is strictly for military. In fact, we don't even go in there unless we are asking a question or they are asking us one. That is, again, in our Discord at marfooglenews.com. At the same place, you can actually sign up for Marfoogle Alerts. That is where, if any of these folks gives us a heads up on anything, we would actually send it out through Marfoogle Alerts. So make sure to sign up for it right now. And then we have the Mexican national charged as a Russian agent after spying on FBI informant in Florida. So we're always hearing these stories from Florida as far as these Chinese informants and these Chinese spies at Mar-a-Lago. Something is always going on in Florida. Can you explain this one, Dex?
Well, certainly. You know, it's kind of interesting that we're hearing yet another agent. This time it's weird. It's like a Mexican who's a Russian spy, right? And so basically this gentleman was arrested after allegedly taking photographs of a U.S. government informant's car while he was in Miami. They captured him while he's at the airport, and then he admitted to actually working for the Russians and that he was an agent. And so he's now under arrest. We've got, you know, I imagine this stuff goes on all the time, but we just don't hear about it. So when we do hear about it, it's kind of interesting, right? But Cabrera, who was visiting Miami on business and tourism visa, told the FBI agents during questioning Monday that he had met with the Russian intelligence agent in Russia several times over the past year, and that he instructed him to rent a unit at the condo complex in Miami to do surveillance on the FBI informant. So he was obviously surveilling somebody he shouldn't be doing, and his cell phone showed that there had been interactions between Cabrera and the Russian handler. So it's kind of interesting, though. I mean, think about the ties to Russia, Mexico, and, you know, are there, or obviously there's something going on here.
Okay, so if you think about it, Mexico is right on our border. A lot of stuff was said. What was it? Remember when the trio, we stopped paying the trio, or we stopped helping the trio of countries? Can you name all three right off the cuff? I want to say, it's not Peru. It's there's 3 South American countries that we stopped doing aid for. And then a lot of people said, well, if we stop doing aid to them, then the Russian or the Chinese will step up. Therefore, having kind of an in and having allies that are right on our border, or at least have a land advantage. So there's something going on with that. And of course, there were supposedly Chinese tanks down in Mexico. There was a whole big theory about that. And then nobody really proved that without a shadow of a doubt. So there was all sorts of weird things going on down there. But if you guys have any info on that.
Was that Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador?
That's what I was trying to look for. I didn't have it in front of me. So those 3 countries, we stopped we stopped having giving aid to them. So, and, you know, somebody's going to take that place. Or that's what people thought. So, again, with this, we will keep, you know, track on this and see if this ends up going anywhere and follow this all the way through. And, of course, Mike Pence says U.S. is to return astronauts to space before using American-built rockets before summer. This is, like, what? Why such a hurry, Dex? Like, this is nuts.
I didn't expect it this fast, to be honest. But we keep hearing about whether it's SpaceX and others all building these devices or ships to do this. But I didn't realize it was going to happen this fast.
Well, okay, so we've talked about this before, how in fact, I saw this article and I did not see it had ... because it was such a long title. And I was thinking before 2024, and it said before ... and I go, summer? Holy crap. So, there has been theories flying around as far as why we have to get to the moon and all these different places, and how all these countries are all of a sudden super interested in the moon, super interested into space. Literally, we've gone over all the countries that have now all of a sudden said that they want to put people on the moon. Russia wants to put lasers. China went to the far side of the moon. They want to set up, they're actually supposedly growing stuff on the moon. And then you have this saying that we are going to get there before summer. What is going on? Is there some sort of asteroid heading our way? Why is every country making some sort of asteroid avoidance system or asteroid detection system either in space or here on Earth? Now, I know some of you just say it's totally BS, but again, there are secret space programs out there. And, of course, now we have the Space Force, so we'll see. Why was the Space Force? Basically, how, even though he's the president, how did he get this patched through? Was there something that he said in a private closed-door meeting that everybody was like, yep, we need a Space Force? Is it just to protect our satellites? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that has gone on over the years. So, if you have information based on secret space programs, give us a call at 224-400-MARF. It says U.S. astronauts will launch into space from American soil using American-built rockets before the summer. Vice President Mike Pence told workers at NASA's Langley Research Center on Wednesday. But two of the companies hired by NASA to develop rockets and crew capsules to ferry astronauts to and from the ISS. Only SpaceX has a system eligible for NASA certification to fly humans, having successfully completed a series of uncrewed test flights. Yeah, remember the one that they said they had a slight malfunction and it exploded? What was it? No. They said we had a slight anomaly. And it was the video leaked of it, and it was just like this ball, and it just exploded. That was a slight anomaly.
Was horrible. Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, no, it's just a little anomaly. Just the entire thing vaporized, but it's an anomaly. And then we have 75,000 ill. So if you're reviewing this on YouTube, just know that this is USA Today and is confirmed by multiple sources. This is what the official numbers are. 75,000 ill, 2,000 deaths, many thousands recovered. Can you get corona twice? Now, that's the big question. It says the number of confirmed cases in the CV outbreak racing across China and seeping around the globe rolled past 75,000 Wednesday. And though that more than 2,000 people have died, many thousands more have recovered. It says with no end to the outbreak in sight, health officials grapple with the issue of reinfection, whether people can, quote, catch the virus again. Li Qin-guan, director of the Pneumonia Prevention and Treatment China Japan Friendship Hospital in Beijing, said a protective antibody is generated in those who are infected. So I don't know if that's saying that you can't, or I mean that's basically saying that at least something. It says, however, in certain individuals, the antibody cannot last that long. It says Lee, for many patients, said, for many patients who have been cured, there is a likelihood of relapse. Do you notice how he used that word, relapse? What the hell? That's something that, like it comes back. Not like you.
What does that mean for their contagiousness?
Okay, that's okay.
Right? Like send him home. He's fine. And like 2 weeks later, a month later, 2 days later,
okay,
is he a super spreader?
I honestly want the word relapse to be looked at very carefully here, because relapse is something that, I mean, that's like relapse. Like it just starts happening again. Is this something that's permanent? Does it stay in your blood system and can come back out? Is it triggered by something? Could it be triggered by signals or frequencies or your own body? I don't know. It says Lee urged patients who have recovered from COVID-19 to be vigilant in their hygiene, such as washing their hands often. Wow. So, okay. As far as that, it goes, inflammation appears to be the cause of severe COVID-19. Inflammation? It also helps in the development of immunity, he said, but any conclusion will be premature, I fear. We will need studies. So that's kind of weird. If you guys want to help support our channel and protect yourself against an EMP or a CME, EMP Shield actually backs the DEMSO. They're actually on the DEMSO team that protects the Texas grid. Not only that, they've worked for Homeland Security, and they've also done work for the DoD. This is no joke. This thing was actually mentioned in the EMP Resilience Report, which, if you remember, we covered, says that every American should have 6 months to a year of supplies for whatever reason, right? And that is in case a blackout or we have a massive grid failure or grid attack. It says a lot about that in there. So they mention this product by name. It's actually one of the only products in there. It is 100% American made. It is veteran owned, and it protects against all 3 phases, E1, E2, and E3 of an EMP. It protects you against lightning. So even that alone, as far as the deductible, if your house gets struck by lightning, is 5 times as much as this thing. And it has, of course, solar flare protection up to 228,000 amps. Again, this can actually go in multiple devices. It can go in your car, your generator, your motorcycle, your RV, your solar system, and your home. So even if the grid doesn't get up, as long as you have a generator in a car, you're good. So again, that is marfooglenews.com/EMP. Again, marfooglenews.com/EMP. And then U.S. condemns China's expulsion of 3 WSJ reporters. It says China on Wednesday announced that it would revoke the press credentials of 3 Wall Street Journal reporters based in mainland China after the newspaper published an opinion piece called China is the Real Sick Man of Asia earlier this month. So that's kind of funky, considering when we did a whole video on this, they literally cut the internet from the source. It looks like they are trying to hide things. It says Gang Shuang. I think that's how you say it. Gang Shuang. On gang and swanging them. A spokesperson for China Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed the decision during a Wednesday news briefing, noting that the Chinese officials have, quote, demanded that the Wall Street Journal recognize the seriousness of the error, openly and formally apologize and investigate and punish those responsible, while retaining the need to take further measures against the newspaper, the New York Times reported. This is the quote. The Chinese people do not welcome media that published racist statements and smear China with malicious attacks, Gang added. So that's some pretty strong words. Them are fighting words. So it says, in the controversial editorial written by Walter Russell Mead and published February 3rd, the Chinese authorities are accused of still trying to conceal the true scale of the COVID-19 CV outbreak. Mead claims that Chinese authorities continue to, quote, struggle to control the epidemic and restart their economy. This is going to affect the entire world. They are, basically this last week, they are saying that it's all getting better, right? Don't think so. With all the Foogle fam saying that their family members are being, we've got several people in the Foogle fam with family members or neighbors or people that are actually still on voluntary or mandatory quarantine. We're talking about people that had contact with, do not necessarily have it, but are being watched or are self-containing themselves in their house. There's a lot more than you think. Just saying, that should be a fact. It's anyone reviewing this. They have at least 200 in Georgia. They have, oh man. So another creator and myself were talking last night about birthers in California. Dex, have you ever heard about this? I think we need to do a whole special on it.
I haven't heard that term in quite a while, but what's
Okay, no, not the T-Man stuff about Mr. Obama. I'm talking about birther tourism, and what it is there is a multi-million dollar business in California, and just to show you, this is what this is, and think about this look at that. Birther tourism. The first thing that's going to be popped up here is the NY Times, and then check this out. Just to read this, and this is from last year. This is actually about a year old, and think about how this has context right now. 3 arrested in crackdown on multi-million-dollar birth tourism. Oh, of course. And of course. I'm going to try to get it. Let's see. And nope. Yeah, we just need to get the damn thing. You know, what's really crazy is that somebody as respectable as Wall Street Journal has pop-ups that literally take over your computer. That's like literally stupid. And they're respected, or supposedly respected. Okay, so what this is, if I can actually go to it, I think it's because I've gone to it several times over the last couple days. What it is that pregnant women come into the country and they go to California, specifically Southern California. And it says, birth tourism is the practice of traveling to another country for the purpose of giving birth in that country. The main reason for birth tourism is to obtain citizenship for the child in a country with birthright citizenship, such as a child sometimes called an anchor baby. So once they'll come over 7-8 months pregnant right before they're going to pop. They try to hide it. Once they get in here, they're in these birther houses, and a big, huge operation is going in Southern California, which, by the way, just want to remind you, there's the most cases out of anywhere in the country. And they have the baby inside the homes. It's very unsanitary. They actually, if they are not ready, they induce them with actual drugs and get these babies to come out. So this is a way bigger deal, and I'm going to end up trying to credit the creator that brought this up. And then that creator is right in this area. So I'm going to try to get some info on this and then end up doing something special on this, because this may be why California has the worst cases of it. This is huge. This is underground. You're talking Chinese mafia kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that later. We'll definitely go back to it. Think about that. And let's see here. We've got Secretary Pompeo on Twitter. The United States condemns the move by China to expel 3 WSJ journalists. Mature, responsible countries understand that free press reports facts and expresses opinions. China should not restrict free speech. So this is an actual tweet from Mike Pompeo on Twitter. So that's pretty crazy. And I'll just pull up the original here. Check that out. So they are actually expelling folks, and we don't know, again, they are obviously saying the obvious, that they are not telling us everything that they should be. We talked to Megan last night, and all of a sudden the entire internet cut out. It wasn't a reset. It wasn't anything. I think that there's something way, way bigger going on, and they are monitoring everything. They do not want any negative press coming out, and including myself. I mean, this is some pretty crazy stuff. And then we have Iran reports its first 2 cases of the new CV virus. It says Iranian authorities confirmed on Wednesday that 2 cases of the new CV, the first in the country, the semi-official ISNA news agency reported. Now imagine it there. The report did not elaborate on the nationality of the 2 people infected. ISNA quoted an official in the country's health ministry, Kayanush Jahanpour, as saying that, quote, since the last 2 days, some suspected cases of the new CV were found. Jahanpour did not say how many people were suspected of having the virus, which causes the illness that the World Health Organization recently named COVID-19. referring to its origin of late last year and the CV that causes it. So this over there, I mean, this is, how many countries is this in now? And think about it. We may have this totally down. We may have this completely contained in the U.S., but if it goes around the block and does the rest of the world in some places that are not going to do the same kind of things and not take it as seriously, then it will go swip around, and then we'll get the second mutated version of it that's even worse. This is exactly what they talked about. And what's even weirder, we're not going to talk about it today because we're going to wait. We're going to have Ed on, and I want to talk on an exclusive episode. We're going to keep the coverage doing exclusive alerts on the CV, and we're going to have Ed on about that weird Dean Koontz book back in 1981 that called it Wuhan 400. It's really weird. I'm talking about, like, to the T, predicting 30 years ahead, almost like it was like a nod to the elites. Pretty creepy. And then if you guys want to support us in a different way, earthing is something I do and a lot of the Foogle fam members. Earthing is essentially grounding, and what it is going outside and putting your foot on the ground. Only this is actually designed by Clint Ober. We actually are partners with them, and again, this is something that you can do inside your home to ground yourself. We are electrical. Our hearts are electrical. Our head is electrical. Our brain, our nervous system is literally electrical synapses. So it makes 100% sense that we need to be grounded just like our appliances. In fact, what this does is it plugs into your ground, and then you can actually sleep on it if you get the bed mat. You can get one for your computer desk. It's a mat that goes right where you set your hands. If you are even touching it, then boom, you're good. You can even tell the difference between two people if one has been grounded and one is not in rubber sole shoes. That person in rubber sole shoes can even touch somebody that's grounded, and then they are grounded. That's how crazy it is. And they have 25 studies that back this up. It decreases inflammation mostly, and that is a root cause of a ton of stuff. If you think about all sorts of arthritis and all sorts of digestive issues, that all comes from swollen and inflamed things. So make sure to check it out, marfooglenews.com/earthing. You can, of course, check out our previous shows on this. We had Muriel Hemingway, of course, very famous actress, Amy Smart, Deepak Chopra, and then, of course, we've had Clint Ober on himself, kind of the man, the myth, the legend. You can check those out, or the documentary that just came out on it, marfooglenews.com/GT. Again, that's marfooglenews.com/earthing. If you want to see the movie, marfooglenews.com/GT. And then we have Uganda. Army fights ferocious desert locusts. Again, look at this. It says, under a warm morning, sun scores of weary soldiers stare as millions of yellow locusts rise into the northern Uganda sky, despite hours spent spraying vegetation and chemicals in an attempt to kill them. It says, from the top of shade trees, fields of pea plants, and tall grass savanna, the insects rise in hypnotic murmuration, disappearing quickly to wreak devastation elsewhere. The soldiers and agriculture officers that now have to hunt the elusive, fast-moving swarms, and it says a sign of the challenge facing 9 East African countries now battling with huge swarms of hungry desert locusts. Now remember, these actually went all the way from Africa all the way into China. 40-mile wide swarms. It says they arrived in conflict-torn South Sudan this week, with concerns already high of humanitarian crisis in a region where 12 million are going hungry, according to the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, or FAO. It says one swarm of 40 to 80 million can consume food over 35,000 people a day. So, again, one of these can literally wipe out 35,000 people's food in one day. Boom, done. And we in some of these countries that we live in, we have everything. We can just go to the store and buy stuff. There are certain places that just don't have that ability. So this is heart-wrenching for some. I mean, this is, people don't take this seriously because it's not here. It's not in front of us. It's out of sight, out of mind. But I'm praying for just the food to come back and the crops to do well, because those are human beings. And then Pentagon to adopt detailed principles for using AI. Yeah, you heard that right. AI in the Pentagon. Well, we kind of saw this coming, and we called this 6-7 months ago, Dex. So we've been talking about this for a long time. It says the DoD will soon adopt a detailed set of rules to govern how it develops and uses artificial intelligence. It says a draft of the rules was released by the Defense Innovation Board, or DIB, in October as, quote, recommendations on the ethical use of artificial intelligence. Sources indicated that the department policy will follow the draft closely. The Department of Defense is in the final stage of adopting AI principles that will be implemented across the U.S. military, and an announcement will be made soon with further details. What do you guys think about AI being involved with the Pentagon and the Department of Defense and everything else? I mean, we're talking about it's going to then filter through everything. We are talking about how they monitor us, how they fight wars. I mean, like, this is a big deal. What do you think of this, Dex, if you're there?
Hey, Adam, I'm sorry, I was on the phone, but absolutely, it's, this thing with AI, it's very scary on where it's going. And I guess on some regards, we want to see regulations or guidelines on how we can safely use it and people can safely deploy it. And so on one hand, that's good. But on the other hand, it's obviously saying, hey, we're going to be using AI in lots of different things. So the days of AI was just the future and we didn't have to worry about it, those are gone. They're actually here now. And we really have to start thinking about what are going to be the ramifications to ourselves every day.
Exactly, and a lot of people think, of course, this guy on the screen, Terminator. Skynet, which actually, if you look into Skynet, there's an actual chip that is helping 5G and the Internet of Things along. No joke. Skynet is a real thing, and it's actually part of a system that is going to advance us into this new world of the Internet of Things. That's literally what's happening right now. Skynet, and then the fact that we're doing AI and even Neuralink with Elon Musk, this is big stuff. So a lot of people over here on DLive actually think that this is a politics channel. We go over all sorts of stuff. We actually don't. We're not super big on politics. What we are big on is prepping, just honestly, and community. Our big thing is that we have a family here of people that care about each other and honestly do. I mean, you guys have made best friends. We've had marriages in this group now. I mean, that's nuts. 2 years ago, essentially because I started this channel talking from my car on my breaks, people are now married. That's really crazy to think about. People meet every single week, bi-weekly, monthly, in groups, totally separate. Some of them off-grid. Some of them don't even bring their phones. That is cool. Like, nothing to do with it now. Now it's moved way past me. It's the Foogle family. So this is something that, we can somewhat combat. Here's the thing about the facial recognition and the AI that's coming as far as all of these things. You can always not do it unless it's forced. I wouldn't support a store that used facial recognition. Again, no store. If everyone took a stand, if everyone was just side by side and said, nope, we're not going to let this fly, no store would knowingly literally cut all of their business out by adding facial recognition. If no one went to Walmart, Walmart would they might have it up for a day. Once they see the huge drop, they're going to totally take that thing back out. But that's not what's going to happen. I've actually showed you that gas station that has facial recognition on it. And my wife literally tried 3 times and she couldn't get in because it thought it was somebody else. And then she manually did it and saw it was a woman who looked kind of like her, but it made a mistake. And the facial recognition, everybody just did it. People that have never been to that gas station just looked at the sign, read it, and went, okay. And it says, please look at the camera. And everybody, and then the regulars, they're just used to it. They just literally come up and they automatically did it. Like they were trained to look up at the camera. Think about this. And that's what's going to happen. Sadly, I've seen it in real life. I got video of it. I was thinking, wow. Even people that have never been here are just like, oh, okay, it's facial recognition. It's because they trained us to do so. They said, hey, to lock your phone, it's very secure if you put your fingerprints. Oh, wait, to make it even more secure, put your iris in. To get it more secure, let's do a face recognize. They got your facial recognition, they got your irises, they got your fingerprints, and they even have your voice pattern. Think about when cloning does come out legally. I mean, they've been doing it, but think about that. Anybody that goes against the grain could be and then replaced. It's kind of nuts to think about. Just saying, and I'm not trying to be paranoid. I'm just saying it's literally, people said, oh, our phones are so cool. Cameras on the front, cameras on the back, and then when you get an alert, like the October 3rd alert of last year, you have to click OK. Snap takes a picture, and we've seen this too. By the way, I don't know if wasn't it Dex just a few months ago we found out that Facebook had a glitch, and the camera was open in the background.
Oh yeah, they had a glitch. The camera was running, and only if you did something weird could you actually see that it was on, but the camera was on. And if the camera was on, they had video
with
photo,
no light,
audio, all of it. No light, no nothing.
So Facebook was watching the entire time. Is that creepy? Watching you. You're scrolling, and think about it. Somewhere in the Matrix office, there's thousands of TVs of people just looking right up their noses with their fat fingers. It's creepy. If you guys are missing notifications, make sure to go to our website, marfooglenews.com. You can actually click and subscribe to them. Website notifications are now available. Works with most and all browsers and Android. iOS is coming soon. Look for the prompt and click the bell in the bottom right-hand corner. Facebook employee, speaking of the deval, it says, a Facebook employee reportedly blow-dried Mark Zuckerberg's armpits before he gave speeches to get rid of his anxiety sweat. Oh my gosh. I think that's just one of those ones you just want to read the headline. Dude,
that's all there is to it, man. That's
how
hilarious.
How weird is this dude? Okay, so I understand, like, he's got private jets, he's got everything, right? But do you guys know, we covered this about 8 months ago, that he has an escape chute in his office? So imagine like a round thing with a slide that goes, and it's an escape chute down to the parking garage to where his car is, or his chauffeur or whatever. So if somebody comes in, pop, he literally opens a hatch from like an office that they do meetings in and pops down and slides. This guy literally had a chute, an emergency chute, put into his office like Batman down to his chauffeur or to his car. Facebook, the actual headquarters, is like a compound. And they say they're all about, oh man, it's just crazy. So that's nuts. So some guy is his little squeak that, has an air dryer with him at all times to blow dry his armpits. Now it says warming causing irreversible mass melting in Antarctica. This is a big sensitive subject, and for whatever reason over on some platforms, they actually do not like you talking about this at all. It says warming was leading to a, quote, irreversible mass melting of an Antarctic ice and purging carbon from the atmosphere. It says was the only solution to slow the process, an Australian climate scientist told Reuters on Wednesday. Recent human activity has intensified global warming, which could result in a mass melting of Antarctica, said Zoe Thomas, a research fellow at the University of New South Wales, who was part of an international team of scientists that recently published a paper on Antarctic ice melting. It says that the study showed that the world could lose most of the West Antarctic ice sheet, which rests on the seabed and is fringed by floating ice in a warmer world. Now, I know a lot of people actually are totally the opposite. People have, kind of cut and dry beliefs on this. They think we're cooling or heating. Either way, we're not here to debate that. We're just here to say what these guys are saying and then get your opinions on them.
The one thing I would say on this, Adam, the other fact that we reported on here, and this is coming from Reuters. So anybody that wants to worry about if we're sticking with the mainstream, this is mainstream. So that nobody come after us for it. But the thing that did happen back on February 6th was the temperature there was like 65 degrees. I mean, they called it T-shirt weather in Antarctica. And we talked about that back then too. So,
and you're talking negative, right? Usually they're negative temperatures, and to go up all the way to 65, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's pretty warm. I mean, I guess it's summer down there on that hemisphere, so it would be the warmer season. But yeah, that is a record. 65 degrees Fahrenheit has got to be a record.
Now, it says what we're seeing with the West Antarctic ice sheet, that this is starting of the melt. Once we reach a certain threshold, we'll continue despite our efforts to stop it. Says the team hopes to continue research to determine how quickly the ice sheets responded to increased temperatures. One place that I want to go, if this is just hypothetically, if it is true, is Venice. They say that Venice is going to be flooded in a number of years. That how Venice is all waterways and they travel by boat. Of course, we've had the flooding and all that, and then a few other places over there were flooded last year. All sorts of weird weather.
And the other thing I heard about Venice, since you're speaking of it, Adam, is it's one of those cities, kind of like New Orleans and others, and maybe Seattle does this, I'm not sure, that they actually sink. In other words, over time, they settle. The city settles into the earth slowly. So as much as there is potential sea level rise going against them, they also have their own problem of the city lowering itself over time. So it's counterproductive.
Yeah, and they say that a lot of the places around the world will actually be underwater in a certain number of years. Whether that's true or not, that's up to you guys to decide. You can give us a call at 224-400-MARF. And finally, Dex, if you can explain NordVPN, I'll load up the rest of the stuff. Again, you are our tech expert. So
absolutely. So NordVPN, it's one of the many, or a VPN in general is one of the many things you should have in your security set for your computer, for your phone, to protect you. It's one layer of protection that's really critical on the internet. Of course, nothing is 100% foolproof, but this is so simple. You got to have it. You got to use it. It will protect your IP address. It will protect your identity when you're out on the internet. And prevent those bad guys from actually coming in and trying to get into your home network, trying to get into your phone, sniffing the traffic that you're using on the internet. They won't be able to see that information. So getting that extra layer of protection, it's really easy to use. I tell everybody all the time, it's so easy to use. My mom uses it. Literally turn it on like a light switch, turn it off when you need to use it, when you don't want to use it. Great specials just for the Foogle fam. So go over to marfooglenews.com/VPN and get NordVPN and get it running on up to 6 devices. So it's real simple and a great deal that you can run it on multiple devices. marfooglenews.com/VPN.
All right. Thank you, Dex. And then, of course, I've got some stuff here and I wanted to jump over to chat. We've, of course, got my all-time favorite mod. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say a name now. No, I'm CJ Blaze. What is going on? Josh Connor. I love Beagles. Naja 9. Crystal Virgo. W West. Hopkinson. Thank you for the lemons. Get on with it. Thank you for following. James Huff. Appreciate you. Thank you guys. All of you guys for coming over and following. Debbie Yo. Johnny Doom. Thank you again. Chance. What's going on, man? How are you doing? And then Channel Jammer, Barefoot Lass, Junior Pale Horse, lots of familiar names here. Queen Fisher RN, Ever Dazed, Susan Donahue, I don't know if you're in here, but did get your message before the show. Kitty Rose, Megan's Blog, Karma's Here, Kitty Kit Cat, or Katrina, Northern Tiger, Linda Way, Megan's Blog. Hey, how are you doing? That was crazy. Again, I don't think even Megan's Blog actually believes me. She's like, I talk about this stuff all the time. the thing is, and I'm not trying to say this to anything of us, but we have been getting big numbers over on YouTube as far as live numbers, right? So if you have a certain amount of people watching you live, they every once in a while have staff and stuff in there, and we've been noticed once or twice. And that was weird. I'm telling you, if it was 2 a.m. or even midnight, I might have had like some sort of reset or internet thing. But last night, the entire internet cut from the source at 9:30 p.m. Pacific. Like, it was just weird. Super, super weird. When we were talking to Megan's blog, who she's in China, we've been talking to her for a month. She is on actual lockdown, has to sneak out through a VPN. So, weird. DDD Big, thank you so much for coming tonight. Proud Canadian Lachelle Grego 2, Shane XCS. It's nice to see you guys all tonight. Denny, what's going on? Thanks, man. Donna Bear, Starfire Horizon, Gem Moonface 5, La Monsta, Charlotte A91, K Kathy, and Earthworm Jim. Boom! All right, let's get pumping. Let's get the phones open. I just want to make sure that you guys know that on our website, all of this stuff is backed up. So you can actually go a year later or a month later, you can go to this show and you can actually watch it live here if you click on it during the show, or you can watch the replay through this. And then again, Irreversible. And then down here, all of the show topics, all of the videos, including the road rage, all the Twitter, everything that we show here today. Then you have all of the sensitive stuff, the stuff that they don't want is all here. Again, we're going to probably get Ed on tomorrow. Hopefully his schedule permits that. It's been pretty stressful off camera, so it's been been a nuts week. So I thank you guys for all being patient with us. We have a lot of projects going on, and we're trying to balance everything at the same time. Okay. Oh, look at that. And a suspected CV in Honduras. It's nuts how fast stuff like that goes. Okay. Again, I'm going to hop back into D-Live here in a second. And boom. Okay. Lady of Truth is up first. Lady of Truth, you are live on Marfoogle TV. What is going on?
Well, thank you very much for having me on your show, Adam. But I would like to mention first that I am a Christian and believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of the living God. I am the fourth daughter of Kenneth Arnold, and he is really the man that coined the name Flying Saucers, and it was in 1947. However, he was a very reputable man, and he had a relationship with President Eisenhower. And our family was threatened that we would all be killed if some of this information got out that my father knew. And so he never participated in the whole flying saucer thing like other people have. I would like to mention to you, though, as a child, I was very aware that there is a solar system coming through our solar system, and they had been planning on this since like 1962. Now, if you go to Revelations, and I think you mentioned it the other day about the first trumpet, the second trumpet, the third trumpet, the fourth trumpet, they're real and they're coming. And the thing is that something is going to hit the earth, and something is going to hit the moon. Now, that doesn't mean that we're all going to be, devastated or anything, but it is going to be a solar event.
So, okay, how long have you watched me? Did you know that there was a video that that kind of shut down YouTube, or the theory was that it shut down YouTube about a year ago? Do you remember this, Dex? So, okay, actually, Dex, she can't hear you. So, or no, I think she can actually. Here's the thing. So, if you guys have watched me for a while, you might remember, or if you watch anybody, everybody did a video on this. There was a video with a military man that was basically sweating. He was like in the dark. He's freaking out. He said that he was in full gear, full uniform, saying that something was going to hit the moon, not the Earth. Something was going to hit the moon in 3 to 4 years, and they were trying to figure out something to do. if you guys look at what's going on right now with everybody going to the moon and everybody putting lasers and all these things, it's kind of weird because remember last year when we did videos on this and all of YouTube shut down. I don't know if you guys remember this, but all of Facebook, all of YouTube, all had these different things. And I think most people chopped it up to being hacked, but they actually said publicly that it wasn't a hack, that they were doing maintenance or something like that. And they said it afterwards. All of YouTube shut down. Do you remember that?
Well, I don't. I've only been a YouTube watcher for probably 6 months. I'm new on YouTube. My channel is called Lady of Truth, and it has a picture. I think you have a picture of it's a lady holding a little lamb or something like that. But let me mention to you that everybody better prepared for it's not the locusts that are eating up the plants over there in Africa and whatever. There is actually locusts that are going to be able to sting you. And so I guess what we're calling it is the alien invasion, because that's what we call demons now, is aliens. But that is supposedly supposed to happen after the fourth trumpet. Now, you can go to my channel, and not only that, there is 7 thunders in Revelation 10, and I only know up to the 6th thunder now. And so the 7th thunder, I don't know. I guess God's going to reveal it to me here pretty soon. But if you go to my channel, it started out, I was supposed to say that, God's real name is Yah, okay? And it's in Psalm 68:4. So it's very biblical, and we are in a spiritual war. And if you've seen, like, some of the things you've shown on your show, like, the ripples going up in the sky and stuff like that, they're actually drawing energy from our earth. And, all I can tell you is that from what I know when I was a child, there's one more important thing I need to say. And that is that these aliens, or whatever we think are aliens in spaceships, they're not actually coming from outer space. They're actually coming from inside the earth. When I was a young girl, they showed pictures of huge black holes at the South Pole and the North Pole. And these flying saucers that my father saw, they were actually going into the mountains. And so what I can tell you is that, they can go as far as the moon, but they can't go any further than that. I mean, that's what everyone was talking about when I was a child. And, that's what I, heard.
Wow. So there's just a whole bunch of information just got thrown again. And you say you are the 4th descendant of Kenneth Arnold, correct? I've heard his name many times. He's in a lot of different documentaries, things about, of course, he was one of the first kind of widely reported UFO sighting. And what's weird, are you local, by the way? Because I don't know if your family's from Washington or something like that.
No, my family originally was in Idaho, and I live out in the middle of nowhere. I'm definitely a prepper.
And he began Great Western Fire Control. That's okay. So I've actually heard of your family. Go on though.
Okay. All right. Well, what I'm going to say though is that this is real. This is real. I believe that we've been in the tribulation since 9/23/2017, and these 4 trumpets, are going to be sounding here pretty soon. So if you just go to the Bible and you read it, in other words, we have a debris field that's going to be coming through, because we're going to have a pole shift. The earth like tilts completely over, and the 7 thunders. The 7 thunders are for human protection, okay? So I just know the first 6. I haven't declared the 6th one yet, but I'm pretty close. But the thing is, it's for physical protection. We are in a spiritual war.
Well, Lady of Truth, I'm sure there is a bunch of people that agree with you. As far as the things you're saying too, I was just talking with somebody last night about how they felt like something was coming, and a lot of people honestly say over and over again, something big is coming, something big is coming. And I always think, hypothetically, what if everything is right that is said, the prophecy, everything else, then we are most definitely looking at something crazy right now going on as we speak. And if I've shown over the last year and a half, 2 years, is all of the weird things going on with them looking at space, with them looking into the sky. So, Lady of Truth, thank you for coming on. I appreciate your call, and I hope you call in again, okay?
Yes, I will. But let me say one more thing. I started out with Dutch Sense, and I tried to go on there, and, of course, I'm sure the president's going to arrive here any day because I know a lot more, Adam, than anybody. People have got to move off the coastlines.
Off the West Coast or both? You think both?
Both. You've got to move at least 200 miles off the coastline.
That is,
I know that
gives people
panic.
the chills.
That would start an absolute panic. But you know what? Since 1962, they know this was coming, and I can't imagine why they haven't prepared America for this.
That's a scary thought. Lady of Truth, thank you for calling in. You are
You're welcome.
A wonderful human being. God bless you, okay?
Okay, God bless you too. Bye.
All right, good night. Some calls actually give me the heebie-jeebies. What if I cover all sorts of this stuff, but if you're just tuning in now and you haven't watched my show a long time, think about all the space stories about how they're getting together HAMMER, hyper asteroid mitigation and emergency response vehicles, essentially nukes on. What if they knew? I mean, they would not tell us. They definitely would not tell us. Hello, you were live on Marfoogle, Blue Bottle Bunny Farm.
Tonight? Right, how you doing tonight, Mark?
Good. Just before we start, I want to just make a really big shout out to Dutch Sense. By the way, which was awesome to have me, Dutch Sense, and Paul Bagley all in the same room. Dutch Sense is definitely one of my favorite people on YouTube, so make sure to go over and check him out. Again, just awesome guy. All right, Blue Bottle Bunny Farm. What's going on?
Hey, just glad to be with you all tonight. This is Whitestone from Alabama, and we are the Blue Bottle Bunny Farm. We raise rabbits here, and we've been prepping since 1989.
Now,
and honor. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say we've heard about you've been around for a while now, so just continue.
Yes, I've done some reports on bug out bags. We got prepping stuff on our channel, and we got a farm, micro farm, acre and a quarter. Been going since 1989, and I've been doing this for a while. So tonight I wanted to talk about the quarantine procedure, the death rate, and something colloidal silver, things we can do to help get the immune system up to par. First, I'd like to go over the death rate, and I'm not talking about just the overall numbers being skewed for this Kung Flu 19. We got to really, you don't take the total people like, I'll go back to a point where the numbers were about 45,000 people had it. You don't take the total number of the 45,000 people and divide it by the people that died to get a death rate. What you use is the recovery rate. And at that time, recovery rate out of 45,000 was running about 4,000 people were getting over it. But unfortunately, the death rate at that time was 1,000 people were ending up dead. Okay? 2 plus 2 is not 5. 2 plus 2 is 4. And I'm telling you, with 4 getting better and 1 dying, that's a 20% death rate. And they're trying to, and the other 40,000 out of the 45, they're still sick. We don't have figures on them. So the death rate is really being hidden. You got to use recovery rate versus the death rate to find out the true death rate percentage at 20%. Shocking, huh? They're trying to feed us this 1.5, like a person and a half dies out of 100, way off. And that's where, and then on top of it, the numbers are screwed up.
I just have to clarify, Blue Bottle Bunny Farm, that we have to do our little disclaimer so that you can say what you would like without us taking responsibility.
Allegedly,
and I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying no. We have to be extremely careful because they are literally on a mission to get rid of it. That's why we've been actually using the other platform a lot more because it's pretty amazing. In fact, DLive is an amazing platform as well. But continue.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Mark. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I just have to say my part. That's all. Keep going.
Yes. Yeah, and these are just my opinions, my notes, and that's all this is. And I've tried to go with best figures that they've given out, and I'm kind of using their figures to work with here. So that's the best I could do. Want to talk a little bit about the quarantine procedure. And again, it's just an observation that I've made. But they, on the Diamond, for example, the cruise ship, that little rolling petri dish, they quarantine people for 14 days. And even that's in question as to whether that shouldn't be 24 days or 20 days. But anyway, they quarantine them for 14. What nobody seems to be talking about is, let's say you roll into the quarantine 14 days and you're at day 7, and all of a sudden they find one more passenger at day 7 that's got it. Guess what happens? Your 14-day quarantine starts all over again because the one person they found infected on day 7 got the whole batch again. So when they lock all the 6 people up together, that's kind of the way the quarantine procedure is failing. So let's move on past that. Since I've been prepping since 1989, we know that we got to prep for everything. So if it continues at this rate, unchecked, going at the same rate it has in China, they predict that 60% of the world is going to end up with this. So let's get our immune systems built up. Let's cover all the bases, cover out how to clean it up and avoid getting it with proper masks and proper disinfectants, and let's talk about some stuff that can make our immune system better so that if we do get it, we're one of those 4,000. We're one of the 80 out of the 100 that live through this thing.
And Blue Bunny Farm, I just want to let you know we're past time, so I just needed to let you know to be fair to everybody. So continue if you can finish up.
Yeah, let me fly down the list here, okay? For I suggest colloidal silver. Please find our article. Have the viewers come over to me. Find the article. It is colloidal silver for sale. And the least you can
that's more like an advertisement. Okay, so can you please finish your statement here?
Yeah.
Because we're past time, and I've got to be fair to everybody.
Black seed oil, turkey tail mushrooms, oil of oregano, please, for immune system. The cleaning agents are barbicide, the best one, Clorox, Lysol, Lysol kitchen wipes, and Clorox kitchen wipes. Hey, we got a rabbit named Mark, and I'm finishing up here. I'm done. We had to drive 4 hours to get our Mark rabbit and bring 4 hours back to get into the house. And that's about it. Let's get prepared, man, for everything. Goggles, N95, N100s.
So everybody, his channel is Blue Bottle Bunny Farm, all one word, pretty easy to remember, Blue Bottle Bunny Farm. And you can reach him over on YouTube. His link will be on our website, marfooglenews.com, under callers, along with all of the other callers, including Lady of Truth. Thank you, Blue Bottle Bunny Farm.
Yes, one last thing, one little tiny thing. When you go to Blue Bottle Bunny Farm, you're going to meet Susan, and she's the country singer, and there's going to be some country songs on there too, along with a lot of prep songs. So.
All right. Well, thanks for the heads up. You know, that is important. People might get confused and think they're at the wrong channel. All right. Have a good night.
Love you, Google family. Everybody stay safe.
All right. You too. Have a good night. All right. And then I just want to clarify. We have to be fair to everybody, especially the people that have waited since the beginning of the show to get in. And then let's see. Oh, okay. So I can't do this. Dex, I need to be able to do like a two-way thing here. There was somebody who wanted to get in tonight, and I'm trying to figure out how I can actually put that through here. For now,
do you want me to get him on the phone? If you're gonna get,
yeah. Can you go over to Twitter, to your DMs, Justice?
Okay.
First time caller, you are live on Marfoogle TV.
Okay. I just want to talk about the relapse that you was talking about earlier with this virus, and it came to my mind like, doesn't this virus have HIV in it? So how can they possibly make a cure or a vaccination to cure this? And it has so many other strands.
It doesn't. No. So there's markers. I'm not a scientist, so I wouldn't be the one to ask. But no, it does not have the actual HIV. That is kind of. I think that's a misconception. But there's things in the strands that are very similar, so that's how they're treating it. It could very well. I don't know, but again, that's why they're. Well, just like how they have now drugs to prevent HIV from happening. You see what I'm saying? Now they have stuff. You see those weird commercials about it. So, I don't know how to answer that, but yeah. But continue.
Okay, and then I also want to say there is like where I'm from. I'm on the Tennessee line and the Kentucky State line. And there has been a case of a Tennessee Tech student of having this virus, but then it came out later he didn't. But then there was another virus that they was really on hush-hush about, because I have a lot of nurse friends, and they was warning me because I was in the nurse field as well, but I took a break because of my kids. And they was like, just be careful because there is a confirmed case, but they wasn't reporting on it now. But now they just came out that there's 8 cases confirmed in Tennessee. But I don't think that's the real number, because like a few weeks ago, it was just one person and they knew he'd been around people, and they don't know who he's been around because they're trying to figure out who he was around. But now it's 8 confirmed cases. And I just don't think that's the actual number for real. And they're really not talking about it on the news, none of that.
Well, everything that's going on right now is nothing seems right. That's what I'll say the least about. What do you think about how things are going right now, as far as just what they're telling us and what they're not telling us?
I just think it's sketchy. I want to pull my kids out of school. That's how serious I'm getting. Like, I just don't trust it.
I thought about it too. My 14-year-old came home sick, and then when I called her school on the 3rd day to say, hey, she's still sick, she said, oh, no worries, about 1/3 of the school is. And then the next day I called in, she was still sick. She said that I talked to a different woman, and she said that half the school was sick. And then before she left, she said that 4 kids out of like 16 or 17 or 20 or something were gone. So she obviously knew. Everybody was in groups, broken up into groups. So everybody was missing all the people. So that's just that was just local, right? It hits home, and you're like, how bad is this just the regular flu, or is this something else? So I feel you there, but I don't know. What do we? But what do you think about this? What if everybody just stopped going out, the lockdown for everybody in the world? Do you think that would just stop this?
Then you have to think about the economy.
I know,
going to make the market crash.
I guess, there's so much money wasted. What if everybody got a stipend for 2 weeks just to not work or something? Yeah, it wouldn't work, right? But that would stop the virus. It's either the economy crashes or the human lives crash. So I guess
I don't know. I know when my kids' school, they closed every county around my kids' school. except for their school. And I thought that was a bit ridiculous because we got a call talking about almost 100 kids got sent home. They said it was flu A. Like, the teacher was talking about the kids were getting sick instantly, throwing up like it wasn't nothing. They'll sit there. As soon as one kid throw up, the other one throw up. And then they come back and the parents talking about they have the same thing. It's all the flu. It's a new strain of flu. But I'm like, I don't trust that. I send my kids to school in masks and gloves because I don't trust that. Because what kind of flu does that quick?
You know, I wonder if kids are wearing masks yet. Like, I wonder if there's any parents around the country that are, because, you know, something like that would usually get local news coverage. You know, the local news goes, well, you know, Susan doesn't want her daughter going to school, so she's wearing a mask, and other parents are worried. You know, I haven't heard about that yet. I'm surprised there's not more parents that have said, you know, hey, you're wearing a mask at school no matter what. Mostly, I think kids wouldn't do it because they would be embarrassed, right? But what if, you know, would that be looked down upon right now? Especially with the virus and even the flu.
Yeah. I know my kids, they come home telling me a lot of kids, their parents be making them wear masks and gloves because I live near a base. So I have a lot of military neighbors and all that. And I see how they've been training heavily lately. It's like pretty crazy. It's kind of scary because they be doing artillery drops and all that. And it's like, they just a little too active for my comfort. I've been staying here for nearly 7 years. So I know.
Oh, so you know it's regular. So you're saying that they've actively kicked up their amount of drills?
Yes. They even like post on Facebook talking about when they be storming. They say I live like super close. So I know when they're dropping big stuff and when I can hear everything they do because of how close I stay. So, but it's like they be gone all night to the hours. They come home, they go to bed. Like my neighbor, he tells me he only gets 2 hours of sleep every day. He comes home, gets 2 hours, and then he go back. Come home, get 2 hours, and then he go back. And he'll tell me like they're training real heavy. Like my best friend, her husband is an ex-CIA. I have a best friend, her husband is used to be Special Forces. So like I know a lot, and it's kind of scary.
Have you heard anything recently about not only the corona, but other things like meteors or something like that? Or is there anything that you overheard from your friends' husbands or anything like that?
Oh yeah, we openly discuss this stuff a lot because I have an open mind and this stuff is interesting to me. I know my best friend, her husband, he was the ex CIA, if I'm not mistaken. He was talking about the Space Force, and he said, if you want to be technical, they've been talking about this for years. And he was like, it's really nothing new. They know what they're doing. They're just coming out with it now because they want to alert people now. But he was like, they've been on missions for so long. He said most of the satellites that they talk about now, they've just been having. It's nothing new.
Yeah, it's been around for years and years. That's what everybody thought, too. It's like, it's not, these are programs that have been around. Years and years ago, it leaked that there was space soldiers, or there were non-terrestrial soldiers in the list of things that were leaked. So, yeah, no, I know. Justice, thank you for calling, and I've never heard your voice before, so I'm so glad to meet you. I've seen your name, but I've never never talked to you, so I'm super glad to meet you.
I've been tweeting you on Twitter. I always find.
I thought that was you.
And I always text you.
Okay, there's 3 justices, but I was pretty sure that this was the one that has DM'd me, and I did get you back, right?
No, my Twitter is y'all love 3.
Okay,
I sent you the information about the Tennessee. It was a screenshot.
Okay, thank you so much. I will definitely retweet your stuff, and I will definitely check my DMs, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, you have a good night, Justice. Have a good one. Let's see here. Up next, we have Mike talking about, let's see here. Or I don't know. Actually, I don't know which one's on deck here. Let's see. You know, some of the... again, you don't have to be military to call in. If you have a friend or a friend's husband or something, if you've overheard something, let us know. If it's something that, not going to get anybody in trouble, but would, kind of open up our minds to what's going on, we would love to hear it. All right. And then the next caller, let's see here. Seeing who is... Okay, next caller is Mike. Mike, you are live on Marfoogle TV. What is going on?
Hey, Marf, how you doing? First-time caller, long-time listener?
Well, thanks for calling in to us. Now, there's a link here. Can you explain what a couple. What am I doing first with this UFO contact?
All right, there's a guy in Puerto Rico. He was abducted with 13 other people, I believe. And this happened back in the late 80s, and the government went down there and did some research on it, and they actually proved that it actually happened. When they abducted him, they told him and the other people that there was going to be some catastrophic things happening around the world, and there was going to be a giant asteroid that's going to slam right outside Puerto Rico. When it does, it's going to take out everything coastal all around the world.
Oh, that's creepy. I mean, did you hear the first caller? Is that why you called in, or the second caller? I believe. Actually,
yeah,
first.
I've been trying to call in, but I just haven't had, haven't caught it at the right time. But they also, the extraterrestrials tell him that there's going to be a one world government, and they're going to be out on an island, and everything in the sea is going to be dead, and there's going to be a war and stuff like that. He goes into detail. He wrote a book about it, and they converted it over to English. But it's a 6-hour-long audio book, and it's on YouTube, and you can listen to it, but it's kind of annoying because of the computerized voice. But he goes into detail of exactly what happened and everything else. And there's also a video on there of the guy that came down from the military, the American military, and did the interview and everything else. And they've got him actually testifying to what he's seen and what he did.
Well, the whole thing with the so you're saying that he was actually told that all this stuff was going to happen, so he got some sort of extraterrestrial heads up about something coming our way?
Yes, they took him on a spaceship with 13 other people. They abducted him, and they scared the hell out of him because they showed him some holographic images and stuff like that. This is back in the 80s, so they had no clue what this stuff was, and it freaked them all
Amaury
out.
Rivera's extraterrestrial.
Hold on, sir. I get what you're saying about the annoying voice. It accidentally started when it was up here. Wow, you know what's really weird is they have a wiki under this. I've usually seen that for wow. That's like gives this even more, just in my eyes, just a little bit more credibility, because they usually put these wikis underneath the trails that come out of planes and September 2001. So, and now Corona.
Stuff they're trying to get everybody to not to believe. Yeah.
Wow, wow. Subjective. Look at this. It says describes subjectively real experiences. That's and then it goes to here and it says again subjectively, and then it kind of makes it look okay. Anyways, I just thought that was interesting. And so essentially, do you agree with what she said before that everybody needs to get away 200 miles away from the coasts, both of them?
I think that they know that this is going to happen, and I think that's why they're preparing all the stuff around the different regions and things and stuff like that.
What do you think of Oumuamua being one of the only interstellar objects to ever come in, and then it sped up and left? What do you think about that?
Oh man, it kind of, I don't know, it's kind of scary because I don't know if is that the Kachina that they're talking about? There's a blue star and a red star Kachina that they're talking about. Is that the same type of thing?
Well, I'll put on screen. I wonder if we have a GIF of this. It's really creepy when you look at the path, it literally jetted in. Okay, so everything is basically on this flat line, supposedly, of the planets, right? The planets don't go, say here's the sun this way, this way, this way, and it doesn't matter if you say the sun goes around the Earth, whatever. They all are flat on a line and spin, and then they all independently spin whichever way, but they're all on this line, supposedly, right? This thing came in diagonal and then zoomed in, went right by Earth, and then zoomed out and sped up. So they were like, what in the heck? Like, this is some weird stuff.
Almost like it was underneath intelligent control or something like that.
Well, not only that, even Harvard professors said that this is, this could be a spaceship. And not only that, when you see the gif of how it went, what if it was dropping somebody off? Or what if it was doing the first time around? Oh, man, look at this. So I think we found one that... so there's one that's labeled really clearly, and it goes right by, and then it zips out. It actually sped up after it went by. And this is accepted by everyone.
I think this is all tied into Nibiru coming in and everything else. I think that it has everything to do, all of it is tied in. Because every 3,600 years, approximately right around there, we have big disasters and things happen around the world. And they say that it comes in around approximately the same time. And then if it's close to us, we have really bad stuff happen, and if it's far away, it's not so bad. And they say that this time it's going to be really close, and it's going to cause all the stuff. Right now we've got all these earthquakes going on and all these volcanoes and stuff like that going off, and it's getting worse and worse. I mean, almost every day you see it, all the stuff that's going on the internet, and over the last couple of years, it seems like these storms are getting way worse.
No, and the weather and everything is changing. It's very odd. Now, I had this on there, and it just being a little brat here. This is the one I'm talking about, and I'm telling you, this is what kind of creeps me out here. I'm going to full screen this so you guys can see. This is Oumuamua, and then this is Earth, right? It's going to replay, and when it comes in, it goes and it flies right
by us.
Here's this.
Wow.
There, wait, and there. Boom. Right next to Earth, and then speeds up and dips out. And look at the path. It's just, and this is accepted by every scientist and every astronomer that this thing, boom, just dipped out. So something is going on way bigger than us, and there's skeptics, there's people, there's whatever. Something is going on, and they're of course not going to tell us. So we're looked at like we're nuts, and they hide a bunch of things. So I don't know. It's and I don't know if it's necessarily aliens or could be God on a cloud. I don't know, but it is something that is accepted. And what are your thoughts? You know what I mean? So,
I mean, this guy Amor Rivera. There's 13 other people, and they've actually tracked down a bunch of them to verify his story and everything else. So it wasn't just one guy. There's 13 other people that say the same exact thing. It's scary.
Well, thank you, Mike, for calling in. I appreciate you, and please call in again. If it's your first time call, don't make it your last.
Yeah, thank you, and you guys have a good night.
All right, you too, sir. Let's see here. All right, and then, isn't that weird? Just telling you, that's what people accept as fact now. Hello, you are live on Marfoogle TV.
How are you?
It looks like this is Denny. What's going on, Denny?
Yeah. What's up, man? What's up?
So it says you are a graphic designer and streamer, and you are actually here over on DLive. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what? I guess what did you want to say today?
Basically, I'm just a graphic designer, and I've seen what you've done with the Foogle fam, bringing them over to D Live, seeing what you've done with like the website, and basically I was just like super like interested in like designing for you guys, if that makes sense. Like, be down to like show you guys the work, do some designs for you guys, and just implement the skills that I have, basically.
So
if that makes sense.
You know, there's a lot of people that are creators in our group. As far as if this is the Denny I'm thinking, then you are really good at stuff. I mean, I was actually thinking, you know, thumbnails and things like this, or if somebody needs design work. Here's what I'm trying to set up, and I really want this to work out, and it's going to take time, and you know, everything has to happen in steps, because we essentially have to start out as you know, people have to put this stuff together. It's just me and Dex, and then a lot of people that help on the outside, and not everybody can do, you know, full-time stuff for nothing. We're going to change that, and we want to try to make it so Foogle fam members support Foogle fam members. So say if you're going to get tires, try to call Joe, you know, that has a tire shop in the Foogle fam before going to some corporate, you know, Les Schwab or something like that. If you are going to a dentist in your city, go to a Foogle fam dentist. This is the system that we're setting up, and it's already started to work. So as far as like a graphic designer goes, if you're good, you should put your stuff out there. We want to set up something so you can actually have people kind of come to you. So that would be something that I'm really interested in doing. But again, Denny, where do people find you?
They can find me on DLive, on dlive.tv/Denny.
Okay, I've got a channel here. Hold on. Dex, thank you. Let's see here. Copy this over. Boom, boom. Oh, that's cool. How'd you do the special Denny is offline thing? That's cool. I didn't know we could do that.
Yeah. It's like the little feature you get as a verified partner on the platform. And basically what I did is got like the red background. Have this little as you see, like, I don't know if you can tell, if you like zoom in, you see like those little like it looks almost like a jersey in a sense, like the dots.
Yeah.
I did like a little glare going diagonal from the bottom left to the top right. That is like my own layer style that I did for Denny is offline, and including like the social media on the bottom. That took me about that's like all that shadow's like handmade basically. As you see, like towards the end, there's like a little like grayish going up to a white. It's like a handmade gradient in a sense, if that makes sense.
No, I get what goes into that kind of stuff.
You can do that. Yeah.
No, I get it. I've been making thumbnails for 2 years and using different programs and stuff like this. People don't even realize that might take time. All right, well, what we'll do is we'll end up putting you on our website, and then people can actually go over and check you out. This is Denny on DLive, again, a streamer over here. We want, of course, we always do our love mobs and things like that. We should carry over the same kind of attitude over here on DLive as well. So if you want to check him out, it's pretty easy to find him. It's DENNY on DLive. Denny on DLive. Is there anything else you want to say before you go?
No, man. Just keep doing your thing, man. I really like how you brought all your community over here to DLive. You guys have shown nothing but love and support to the platform. Super amazing, man. Just keep doing you. Truly.
Again, we want to have it so we can have people over here 24/7 and pass it from person to person and really get the Foogle fam over here, because it's too good to not take advantage of it. It's a great platform. Right. So anyways, thank you, Denny. You have a great night. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
All right, bye-bye. All right, and then let's see here. Man, oh man. Okay. Coming in on 8:51. Bam. Dex, are you there? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? I am here.
Okay. Yes, now we can. So.
Great show.
Man. Just so many things there. I'm trying to see, though. Let's see here. I was trying to see if after the shout, if like Crazy Keith, or is Crazy Keith live? Let's see. Just trying to find somebody that obviously deserves to be found. And all right, let's see here. Just trying to find any of the chatter folks that are doing news. Oh my gosh. Actually, we could end up playing Beirut 420 because it's just the numbers. Okay, do Beirut 420. It's actually just what they are is the numbers of the current numbers. Actually, that's great. And the different reports. So that works for me. If you guys want to follow, then when you're over here, you'll actually know when they have all of the numbers. He's putting live numbers of the coronavirus. Okay, and then let's see here. All right, you guys, thank you for another great show. Thank you for the calls. You guys are all absolutely amazing. I'm going to go to the chat now, and I'm going to make sure to say what's up to everybody. You guys have been absolutely awesome. Thank you for those who supported. It looks like we have some top contributors here. Let's see here. Thank you, guys. Seriously, it looks like there's been some people that have been supporting this time. Def Mike, thank you. I appreciate that. Almost 2,000 lemons. Pat Leading Fox, thank you for 1.3 thousand. And Cindy Moore, thank you for being one of the 3 top contributors. And then thank you, guys, because honestly, this stream and others, basically this, when it goes over to YouTube, instantly goes orange. So we appreciate that you guys are supporting. Since COVID happened, it just like knocked us off, and I don't know if it's an algorithm that's just going to keep doing that, but we get in the extended bracket, and then we have to constantly, if you look, we change titles and things like this every 10 minutes. So thank you guys for supporting. We put a lot of work into this. Most shows actually take hours and hours. We appreciate the support that comes back from other creators as well. Northern Tiger, Awe Enterprise. Make sure to go check out Crazy Keith when he is on. I'll just try to find his channel here. Crazy Cayman. I don't know how he says this thing, but let me see here. He is in the UK, so he's probably sleeping. He is a really funny guy. There's a bunch of really cool people over here. And he was the first one to give me a sticker when I came over. The stickers are basically down below your thing. But this is Crazy Kevin Man. I don't even know how to say it. KM4N. His name is Keith, but he's a super awesome guy. Make sure to go check him out. He is he's an older gentleman, and he is just super funny. You guys got to kick him over a couple follows. And let's see here. Let's go back. And definitely time for this outro. I want to thank all of our super chatters from last night. Jason S., thank you. Says much love to the Foogle fam. That was, of course, JN57. T. Fisher, thank you for just being around for years and years. Thank you for supporting me. I really, really appreciate it. Much love and blessings for all. And then we have, of course, Cruz. Thank you. Again, Cruise Control says, love you. Love your show. And then, of course, we have 2 more here. Let's see here. Boom, boom. Susan Donahue. apparently, again, sometimes you got to come on the show. She's got a lot of great info. Jared Leah Prince, thank you so much for your support. Hey, Marfam, seek the truth no matter what. Crystal Pistol, Patricia, Comedy and Life, Marfia Rocks. And then Darren D, and that's it. So thank you guys. I appreciate you over on YouTube. If you are watching this, I am most likely in the chat. Tonight, I'm going to be popping in 15-minute increments. I have any questions, make sure to ask them in all caps. Just that's a general rule. Always do that. Thank you guys, and much love to all of you. Okay. I hope you guys all have a wonderful night. Marf out. He's good to be back. He's good to be back. Hey, remember, you can go to marfooglenews.com to see any of the articles that we showed you here today. Remember that. Thank you, Checkawa. Karma is here. Obey 777. All Crazy. Cruise Control. Johnny Doom. Kitty Cat and Katrina. Channel Jammer. Nausea 9. Viva Tape. Captain Pat. DDD Big. Backwoods. W West. Wainwright. And Soko Gypsy. We are now distributing the chest. We add a little something to it every night. Crystal Pistol and Patricia comedy in life. You got that, you got it right. Everybody really wanna go back and funkify. You know that, and you know this. To cruise control and T-Fisher, you know that Jason S is the man, and T-Fish had all the plan. Everyone that you know, you've got to go. And you know that we've got to go back and hit that Marfoogle right back with that Trinity red or blue pill. Billy from you too, gonna bring it back. And you know, and you know. Remember MarfoogleNews.com for everything, including our store. Thank you. Gonna bring it back home. You know that we've got to bring it back, whoa. With the WS and the Jam, got the Foogle fam with the kitty cat Kuchinka. Hey JR, Pale Horse, and that lady GT476. Hey Starfire, Horizon, thank you for coming now. And Karen from Columbus. Oh no! Hey, thank you, Angie Daz, for coming by. Activator Spiral Path, Lady Lex, Brandon Foogle fam, JR Pool House, Damon Draco, Barnes fam, W West, thanks for being a member. Cheryl A191, thank you guys. All right, let's make one unique one. Let's just start over. Let's go like this. This one. Let's put some I don't see you so wanna go. You've got the earth one gym and a few belly from Utah. That Marfoogle fast, you just got to beat away. And if you really wanted to, you could go all the way. I just wanna be there for you when you're sad. I want like Jojo, I like me for them, I would be bad. I've never seen you, okay. I never, no, hey. I never, no. I never, no. I never, no. I never, hey. I never, no. I never, hey. I never, no. I never, hey. I just wanted you to be a Navajo gangster. I just wanted you to be a Navajo gangster. Bring it with the whole bag. We're gonna bring it. Any okay? Any are you okay? Or any are you okay with the next gen? Gotta bring a Mr. Man with the big G5, a 365, keep it alive. Got that dragon, get fire storm, bringing it all day with the mouse. Got that jam, now we got. Oh, with the Linda, hey. Oh, with the Linda, hey. Oh, you know that we've got this, hey. It's all very sharp, and you've got to bring it back down. Hey, abba sexy, got to bring it all the way down. With that ball revealing, you got to hear that sound. I'm gonna bring it all the way back down, and you know that we've gotta appreciate all the friends that we got now from all the delight. I'm gonna bring them all inside, and they really go and did they miss all the big chest? Or maybe you did, or maybe you did not. And with a clam single, you gotta bring this whole wide world.
Katrina, gonna bring you all the way down. With the slick wambone and the whisk trombone, gonna play that trumpet till it dies. With the mouse LOL, with the Paul Revere, with the 1-1 Mr. Moore Cowbell is always here with the cello 8191. You're gonna bring it right back down. With the Jojo, I like me for me, I'm gonna bring it right back down. I'm on all over you too, and a Northfair Starfire Horizon, yeah. You got to snap a beat and you got to go, you see. You got to bring it back down, going back and say goodnight now. Hello, hello, and goodbye, goodbye. You are my Marfoogle family, why? Because you stand by me when I sing, and you stand by me when I say bad things. I don't care if you ever leave, because I know that 10 more will be by me. It's a Foogle family. It's the Foogle family.
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to marfooglenews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle fam is waiting for you.